Members of the club, welcome back. We've had some great stories up to now, but the best stories are yet to come. I've got a killer question for you, and the question is, at what stage you decided, I'm going to go big into Johannesburg CBD, I'm going to buy there?
Okay. As I said, I started in Windsor East. I bought my first one at 80,000 rand. My second one was 100. My third one was 120. My fourth one was 180. Okay. And then it was during the boom of the property market at that point in time, before 2008 started affecting us, the end of 2008. And suddenly the return was not making sense anymore. Okay. So I started questioning myself that I can't buy now in Windsor East because the townhouses have shot up in prices. I was always sensitive to the return. I wanted to get my return,
So I think I want to stop you there, because you did disclose your original sin, which is to be a chartered accountant.
Yes.
And nothing can be discussed with CAPS without talking numbers.
Yes.
And always keeping the numbers in perspective.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I often share with our students is the concept of your minimum deal standard. What is the return that you expect in order for you to get into transaction?
Yeah.
So at that point in time, you weren't meeting your hurdle rate.
Yes.
Probably a growth point, you call it the hurdle rate.
Yes.
We call it the minimum deal standard. And at that point in time, it's time to move on, right?
It's time to move on.
Time to move on.
Yeah. Initially, I thought that's it. I can't
That's it?
invest in property anymore, And I happened to share with a friend of mine that I was working with. He said, "Look, why don't you go to the CBD?"
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I didn't go to CBD. I've got some few flats there. He was staying.
So a colleague at work that already owned some flats.
Yes. In fact, he was staying in Berea, okay? And then he was frustrated with the guys not paying levies. He decided to get involved in the body corporate, and then and they found out majority of their flats were actually owned by Investec. And he started going for those flats. Investec said, no, we're happy to sell, and then he started buying. And he thought, oh, okay, there I can invest,
Were you still at the bank at the time?
Yeah, no, I was not at
You
the bench.
just
I was
moved on.
working for SARS.
Okay.
For SARS at that point in time, And then I said, okay, fine, I'll come and join in the CBD. How much are you getting them for? And then I got my first one there for 20 grand.
For 20,000 rand.
20,000.
Okay.
Yes.
Less than some of you spend on bags and shoes.
Yes.
Yeah. Incredible.
Yeah.
What was the flat? Was it like a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom?
No, it was 1-bedroom flat.
A 1-bedroom flat. And
Yeah.
how much rent were you collecting?
I was collecting about 1,400.
1,400.
Yeah, the returns was insane.
Almost infinity, right?
Yes, I sold my
I hope you bought it for cash, that one.
So credit card.
Credit card. Credit card, okay? When you're committed to the journey,
Yes.
nothing is gonna stop you.
No,
Nothing is gonna stop you.
Definitely.
And
Definitely.
a lot of us are happy to swipe that car for 20,000 for shoes and bags,
Yes.
but not for the property.
No, not for the property. Yeah, we have to.
Good old days, eh?
Yeah, good old days. Yeah.
Fantastic. So tell me something. We're gonna go back to the mechanics of Johannesburg CBD,
Yeah.
because clearly we both know from our direct experience that it can be a very profitable market, but it can also be a double-edged sword if you don't know what you're doing, right?
No, for sure.
And I often reflect and talk about the power of your vision. On that day you said, I've got a vision to build wealth for myself.
Yes.
Okay. Now, tell us more about your property vision.
Okay. Robert Kiyosaki sold the idea of financial freedom.
Yeah.
Okay. And he said, you can earn you can earn more money on your properties that exceeds your salary.
Yeah.
Okay. That has been my vision.
Okay.
I wanted freedom. I wanted to be able to earn my salary from a passive source rather than from an active source with me working.
And in which year did you achieve your financial freedom?
I actually don't know.
You forgot. You didn't have a party?
No. I achieved. I only find out later that I've gone past that thing.
Okay, all
So
right.
because what happened is that I started buying a whole lot of properties, and I hired somebody to manage them. Okay, so I never monitored to see how much income I'm making. Okay, and I kept on telling the person working for me, this is what I wanna earn. This is what I wanna earn. One day he said, like, you keep on telling me that that's what you wanna earn, but we've gone past that, you know. And I discovered that this is 2019, about 2017.
2017.
So I assume that I must have achieved it around 2014.
2014. So that's like 6 years.
Yeah.
Only 6 years, like after you actually commenced the journey, right?
Yes.
I mean, if you think about it, 6 years is nothing.
No, it's not.
You had been working for much longer than 6 years.
Much longer than that. Yeah.
That's, and I think that the concept that I personally share, and then you can share your sort of like view, is that property is not a get rich quick scheme, but it's certainly a lot simpler and a lot faster than work, save, and hope and pray for retirement.
Yes, definitely. I agree with you there.
And I mean, I'm looking at you. I can see as much as I do. I can see some gray hair. It means that you didn't start property when you were 23, right?
No. I started very late. I was in my 30s, mid 30s.
Mid-30s. So, but it's never too late.
No, it's never.
But it's certainly better if you start when you're 23, right?
Way better.
You would have less gray hair, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's fantastic. So, tell me a little bit more about your vision. We talked about achieving financial freedom. You've achieved your financial freedom for a number of years.
Yes.
What drives you now?
What drives me now is I've decided to really expand my vision. Okay, because of my background and the way I grew up and the sort of like poverty that I grew under. I thought then I need to push this thing to an extent that it doesn't only give me financial freedom, but it also gives financial freedom to my kids. Okay.
How many?
I've got 3 kids.
3, so there's a bit of work to be done.
Yeah. So I want them to be able to have a choice. Okay. So even now I tell them, if they go and work in a corporate, maximum 3 years. Maximum 3 years. And then they'll go and do what they are passionate about. They have to go and do a passion. They are forced, first and foremost, to understand property. Okay.
How old is your elder?
He's 20 years old.
20 years old.
Yes.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
How are you getting him involved with property?
When I go buy paints and do whatever, we go together.
You go together?
Yeah, when we go and deliver the statements, he does that now.
He does the statements for you.
He does the statements. And but then I've challenged him now to start building his own portfolio. Okay, and I've taught them how to manage money, that there needs to be a saving, and they need to save some money for his first property. So he's busy on that chain now to save his money for his property.
Fantastic.
The moment he hits 50 grand, then I'm gonna finance the rest. I think he's sitting about 35.
And I think that's a critical point, a beautiful point. What you're teaching him is that you gotta show not just intent and interest, but you gotta show commitment, and you gotta show track record of doing something. And when you do, then other people will come with you.
Exactly.
Show me that you're real, show me your money, and then I'll come with my money. Because I think a lot of people come to me and they says, well, how do I raise money from people? How do I get people to give me money? And I tell them, nobody wants to give you money. Nobody wants to give me money. Maybe like, they want to give money to you, but the point is that people want to give money to a return opportunity, to an investment opportunity, not to people per se. Stop asking for money and start offering investment opportunities, right?
Exactly.
So that's fantastic. So your vision is really around, going beyond you and to your children.
Yes, and my great children.
And your
grandchildren.
and you'll have many of them.
Yes.
Hopefully you blessed.
Yeah, yeah.
Before we get into technical things, you know, like everybody wants to get the technical things, but I think that would it be fair to say that what has made you successful is not necessarily the technical thing so far?
No.
That's I know that when I met you the first time, you know, like I was almost always intrigued, and I was always fascinated by the passion you've got for sharing your journey, for getting more people in this exciting journey. And one thing you told me that you have a vision that has got nothing to do with property, and it's a vision of completing a marathon in every continent, right?
Yes.
Is that vision still on?
Yes.
Okay, how far are you?
I'm left with 2.
You left with 2. Which ones?
I'm running London.
London?
Next year, which is in Europe, and I'm doing Boston. 2 years later.
2 years later. So you made good progress.
Yes.
Made great progress since last time.
Yes.
I'm gonna ask you one thing. How is running and physical activity helped you and helping you as a successful property investor?
Okay.
And I know you've just completed your first 94.7. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Well,
Thank you very much.
welcome to the Cyclist Club.
Yes. Thank you. For me, it's about inculcating a habit of discipline. Okay. So I know people just see that I'm doing running one. First, there's benefits of health, and managing stress. I'm never stressed. People talk about stress, but I'm never stressed. That's the health benefit. But for me, it's mainly discipline, making a decision that this is what I want to do. Okay, plan for it, and execute. Okay, you don't have to do that only on a business aspect. You need to make it the habit of your life. Okay, for me, I do stuff like I wanted to run comrades. I'm not really. I wouldn't say I'm big in running, but the challenge, the fear of running comrades, I had to conquer that. Okay, it's more about conquering fear. Okay?
Yeah, conquering
as much as cycling is. You know, like I thought, okay, fine, I've conquered comrades now. Then what else? You know, what else is there that I'm fearful of, that I'll have to plan, execute, and see the results.
And discipline, discipline, because I think that the more we joke about secrets, but the reality there are no secrets, right?
No.
And I always say that the beautiful thing about investing in property is that you didn't invent that wheel, I didn't invent that wheel, that wheel was invented many centuries ago.
Yes.
All we gotta do is we gotta just put in place the same disciplines and the same practices,
Yes.
because we are likely to achieve the same results, right?
Exactly.
That's fantastic. Well, you know, go ahead.
Well, on that, I decided to do a triathlon.
Okay, yeah.
So I had never swum. Okay, well, I used to swim, but I was not an excellent swimmer. Okay, so I embarked on a journey to learn to swim properly a year ago. Actually, October last year.
October last year, that's 1 year.
And then I did my first triathlon in May this year. Okay.
And tell me something, what did you do? What was the first thing that you did once you got the vision of saying, I want to get back into swimming, I want to complete the swimming race, I want to complete a triathlon? What did you do to make that vision come into
I had to get
reality?
a coach.
Get a coach, right?
Yeah, I had to get a coach because I could float on water.
Yeah.
But I couldn't swim. You know, like there's a technique in this thing, you know, and you can't teach yourself. You need
Fantastic.
somebody who's been there, done that, and then you cut the learning. If I tried myself, perhaps I could have taught myself,
Yeah.
but maybe it would have taken me 2 years.
Much longer.
Much longer to do
Much
that.
longer.
Because of the
And maybe
coach.
you would have drowned in the process,
Exactly.
which would have been a real
Yeah,
shame.
because
So
of the coach, 6 months later, I did my first triathlon, you know, and he gave me the confidence. I thought at some point, a week before, I thought maybe I'm not ready. He said, no, you're perfect.
you're ready.
No,
Fantastic.
fine. From where you were and where you are today, you can do it.
So, you know, as I always like to say, you don't have to make all the mistakes. A lot of the mistakes, most of the mistakes have already been made for you. So we talked about the power of having a team, and coach as one of the members of the team. So stay tuned, because as we get into a further section of our interview with Nqabenhle Manana, we're going to talk about the power of team, the top power of teamwork, because if you want to go far, you know, you must go with somebody. Stay tuned.